The lion is dangerous because it lives fully in the lion's instinct, outlook on life and deep illusion it is in. Each step in reincarnation is learning to master certain qualities. Thus one finds oneself in total egoism. Other creatures' lives are just an abstract concept. The presence of other beings is only a threat that must be destroyed. It is the same with man. We live in our own dimension of consciousness. The illusionistic energy makes us believe that we are experiencing complete reality. We believe we can perceive the universe with our form. Whereas in reality, consciousness increases in every physical form we take. The dog sees 3 colors. We only see 7 colors. We can perceive hardly anything except the reality that favors the programming of our form. We know theoretically that the cosmos flows with an infinite number of colors. We live in a shadow world, an intermediate station between death and eternal life. We rise out of darkness. We arise out of nothing through processes to gradually grow into eternal life and consciousness. Of course, there are ever-increasing levels. Probably no ceiling on how high the power can be. But most people cannot understand this. When you begin to realize this, then you are already past the human stage. When a being understands its own existence, it is finished with that form. The full knowledge of the meaning of life makes your soul big and heavy. And you have to bear that under the hatred and scorn of the undeveloped. This power grows and begins to blossom within you, and eventually you hatch out of the human pupa. You shed the temporary form and become an eternal being again. Never forget this when the world is hard and stupid. Meaninglessness will die away, and meaning will always move on. The loveless will reap their bitter harvest, and the loving their eternal love. We've all been everything. But in the end, only the pure remains. You owe many people an apology. But they also owe you an apology. So most of them never talk to each other again. This is how we disengage from the human structure. It is said to be a narcissistic epidemic. But can't it be that everyone whirls freely like leaves, far from the tree, and where loneliness reigns alone there is only room for psychopathy, because it is super-egoism, and when you are alone, disconnected, you are forced to live in egoism. Nobody cares about you. Nobody has your back. Everyone is just arguing and demanding. We have to live with this intransigence. People have forgotten the real thing. They are pragmatists when it comes to bullshit. Individualism is not a success, but neither is collectivism. The only thing that helps is to live a truly civilized life. No one should think that I want people to gather. It's more about the psychological part. Respect, loyalty, wisdom, love and understanding on really important issues. The most essential thing is an inner transformation to a more dignified stage of higher consciousness. Then maybe we can meet there. Death is the only certain thing in life. Why are many in such a hurry to create unhappiness and misery? We have a short time as human beings. We have no time for anything but love and cooperation. We can do nothing but create beauty and emotional warmth. Those who incite through life amid conflict and chaos, hell awaits them. The greatest calamity awaits them. Because not only do we get what we give, we also become what we do. In the realm of the dead, in the spirit world, we are what we manifest in physical form. That's why we're here. We must not allow ourselves to be drawn into the dark vortex that some people create and orchestrate. They are death personified. Whereas the honest, nice and decent people are the Creator's love personified. The illusion of this world is too strong for weak souls. We must fill ourselves with dignity. If a person stresses and hates, their inside turns into a black hole. When they project this outward, evil is created. Behavior is obviously linked to intelligence. We need to develop ourselves and study so we become smarter and more emotionally whole. What shall we do with the darkness? If we kill them, we turn into darkness ourselves. Hate is like a contagious disease that eats soul power, that destroys intelligence and consciousness. All the terrible deeds we see traumatize and paralyze the development of life. Even though we know and can do so much, we live far behind in the past. We create suffering. We create darkness even though we are here to create light. If the chaos becomes too great, everything we know is familiar disappears. Perhaps war and calamity are the ultimate challenge to the human stage. If we succeed in defeating ourselves and extinguishing our evil, we rise to higher stages as a life form. Like all life, we balance on the brink of disaster. We climb a thread over the cliff. Should the big black take us, or should we reach all the way to a better and brighter future? It's up to us. The spiritual energies control your thinking. The brain is a self-moving organ. It thinks by itself. It is the very feeling and type of energy that controls how we think and associate. If we have bad anxious energy, we can only think negative thoughts. And if we are healthy and happy, we can only think positive. So you must always live right. Then you will feel right, and then the brain will think exactly accordingly. Now there are mystics who have pushed the boundaries, who control how they feel, think, breathe, and even their pulse they can control. These people have already passed death. They have lost all fear of their transformations. They have moved into their eternal soul and the immortality it possesses beyond sense perception. When we have reached the being of energies and dreams, when we are in that which does not perish, then we feel safe. Then we don't have any fear left that paralyzes and affects how we think. We have achieved sovereignty over the physical and are then qualitatively one with the eternal. Of course, thoughts can also control how we feel. It goes both ways. But spirit affects thought more than thought affects spirit. But that all comes from thinking it is a mistake to believe. How we feel is more important. And by that I don't mean ordinary emotions, but the archetypal energies that run through man from nature and space.